Well,
short sample size in 2020.
let's not split hairs. Hello and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Blue Jays. I am your host, Nicholas Playlog.
And I am your host, Adam Peddle. And today, we don't stop acquiring people. We've just got Steven Matz in a trade from the New York Mets. We're going to be kind of breaking down our initial reactions and who exactly is Steven Matz in the trade. And was it worth it? And what our thoughts are.
Yes.
But before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button, notification bell button, and check out all of our other platforms in the description down below, as well as becoming a Patron at $3 a month. You can get your question answered on the podcast.
Yeah,
all right. So, Steven Matz, where do we begin? Well, this time we're not going to go as hard on Steven Matz.
Well, here's the thing. You guys got on us pretty hard yesterday for us being pretty hard on Marcus Semien.
Granted,
and you were
pretty hard.
After sleeping on it, I agreed with a lot of the stuff that you guys said. It was low risk, and we went out and we did it. And I think that is something that we can say about this guy. We didn't give up a whole lot here. We gave up 3 guys. I'll read them off. Their names are Sean Reed-Foley, who is a bullpen arm for us. He's only pitched for 71.2 career innings in his whole career. He's got an ERA of 4.4. This is a bullpen arm. We don't see him too often. And then we gave up 2 prospects as well. We gave up Yenzi Diaz and, excuse me if I butcher this last name, Josh Winkowski. Both of them are currently right now ranked respectively 26th and 27th on Blue Jays top 30 prospects. So not a whole lot here that we gave up for this guy, and he's on a 1-year deal for $5.2 million. So not a whole lot of risk either involved for Steven Matz.
Yeah, Steven Matz is, like you said, low risk, low reward. I mean, he's cheaper than Marcus Semien, you know, but Marcus Semien, I'm going to bring it up again. Just Marcus Semien, I mean, $18 million, I'll take that for 1 year, right? Same idea with Steven Matz. Now, Steven Matz, I'm going to look at his numbers right here, and, you know, they're not as exciting as some of the pitching that we might have gone out get. Like, you know, exciting pitching is like 3.5, you know, like low 4s. Well, short sample size in 2020.
let's not split hairs.
Short sample size in 2020. He pitched for a 9.68 ERA, losing every single game. But the positive, his strike is the highest strikeout per 9 he's ever had at 10.6. But the whip, you know, again, pretty bad at 1.69. Yeah. However, he hasn't always been bad. He was actually pretty decent in 2018 with a 3.97.
Yeah, here is the thing with this guy.
Yeah.
If he goes anywhere remotely close to what he did in 2020, he will not be in a starting role. He won't be a starting pitcher for us.
And that's fine.
That's
fine.
Yeah, that is fine, because you know what? Like, we need to have depth at pitching at all times.
Yeah.
But with a ceiling, I think that this guy has a ceiling of being a capable starter in our rotation, considering that we also have guys like Tanner Roark, who at any given moment could give up 10 runs in a game.
Yeah.
This guy, at his best, you know, like we were saying, in 2018, he pitched for a 3.97 ERA. Now, that's not, you know, elite by any means, but it's also very competitive.
And then in 2019, he fell down to 4.21, which, you know, that's still, again competitive and good.
You know,
so
you're not out here, like, winning us games necessarily. You're
or
not
Cy
losing
Youngs,
us
you know,
games either with,
you know what I mean?
4.21 ERA.
Yeah, and I think you can toss that 2020 in the trash bin, and hopefully that he gets a fresh start in Toronto. But it looks like he might be competing for that final spot in the rotation, because right now in our rotation, we have Ryu, then we have Pearson, Roark, and Ray. We know those guys. But then that 5th spot, you have Stripling up in the air. I don't think Chatwood's going to make it, but he's in the mix, apparently.
Yeah.
And then you have now Steven Matz. So Matz might be looking at a job, as Stripling's been more of like a long bullpen, long relief kind of guy in his career.
I think that Steven Matz would definitely be looking at a job if he can do what he did in 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
You know, like I said again, though, like if he comes out in spring training and is doing anything remotely like he did in 2020, he will not be in a starting role. And that's great. great because it is low risk for us. And can this guy pitch an inning or two in bullpen? Absolutely, man. There's no problem with that. And it's always good to have depth, like we said, because this guy has been known to be a starter in his whole career. So if one of our starters does go down, we know that we have a guy that can slot in and give us 4, 5, 6 innings to start the game.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, this guy is definitely great for our mix up of trying to find these starting pitchers, right? One positive, I was trying so hard to find some sort of positive in this guy, like, because I was like, oh, we ripped Marcus a new one when and whatever, I'm gonna leave it in the past now. But so I did find something on Matz. Matz, he's a sinker ball pitcher, and he's added a whole mile per hour on his sinker ball. He throws it for 94.5.
Great.
And last year and the years before that, he's thrown it 93.3. And his curveball decreased by a mile per hour. So now he's got 2 miles per hour difference on both of his pitches.
Well, and that is all positive. So, and I would say that if he hadn't have flirted with a 10 ERA in 2020, I would be very, very enthused by that finding.
But it's something.
I think, and don't get it twisted, guys. Steven Matz isn't going to make our team a deep playoff contending squad, but we didn't give up a whole lot, and it's cheap for 1 year.
You know what he does do?
What?
He fills out our team. He
Sure.
fills out our team.
Yeah.
All of the moves that we've made this offseason are filling out our team. Like cement or like in drywall with there's holes in the wall. You want to just cover that up.
No, it's foundational stuff. It's foundational stuff. We still need to go out there and acquire a relative stud. To be a number 2 here. It's like we've talked about Luis Castillo before, we've talked about Paxton, but we do need to go out there and get a guy who is going to flirt with a 3.4 ERA for the season and go out there and really win us ball games. I don't think that Steven Matz is that guy, but I think for what we gave up to get him, you know what? That's no problem with me. We can go out and get depth at any time for that price.
And if for those who thinking that Bauer's still on the table, unfortunately, Mark Shapiro came out today and said that most of the heavy lifting has been finished this offseason for the Blue Jays, which hints that we are definitely out of the race for Bauer. I don't know what this means now with this acquisition of Matz, if we're still looking for a Paxton or still looking for an Odorizzi.
Well, I'm not sure what it means for us, but what I can definitely tell you is it means that the Mets are trying to dump off some money for pitchers so they can spend it on Bauer. That's what this means. This is $5.2 million that they no longer have, that we're paying, that they can now add to Bauer's contract.
Yeah, it's like put as little puzzle. Okay, fine. That's maybe a 1/5 of your 1 year salary, Bauer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something.
It is something,
especially when you have Lindor coming up.
And realistically, if they did ever acquire Bauer, then you're talking about a rotation that has Bauer, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman. I think they have Carrasco now, don't they?
Yeah,
it's like you don't need Steven Matz at all, even remotely. So
that's scary.
Yeah, very, very clear to me that they are 1,000% gunning for him. I still hope that we are gunning for a decent pitcher because I don't think that Steven Matz can slot in as our number 2.
I agree. Like, we don't really have a solid number 2 right now. If here's something exciting, guys. If we can't find one on the free agency, Simeon Woods Richardson is projected to come up in 2021. Apparently,
that's intriguing to me. That is intriguing.
Yeah. So let's say halfway through the season, haven't really found that 5th. Maybe we haven't even found that 4th guy. Maybe Rourke is still being Rourke and sucks. He should. Right? I don't expect him to get better. But let's say we call up Simeon Woods. We bring him up. He debuts. Why not? Why not?
Well, I mean, and maybe that's another reason why we got Steven Matz is because he can be a placeholder until maybe Simeon Woods comes up, because I know that was something that a lot of you guys were talking about, and I think even we mentioned it about Marcus Semien, is if we don't end up trading Groshans or Martin or Simeon Woods Richardson's, then these guys can slot in as potential bridges until they are ready. They can come up and they can fit the bill as being a starter in their respective positions. So that would be really cool to see this guy come up. I'm super happy that we acquired a pitcher finally, even if he's not the stud that we were looking for. But hopefully Steven Matz bounces back to his 2018-2019 self. And we get another respective starter. But let us know what you think in the comments down below about this guy. Any of the prospects, was this a little bit too much for you? What do you think about him? Not a lot of people know about Steven Matz, so I'm interested to see if you have any thoughts.
I know he's a waiver wire pickup in fantasy sometimes when he's decent.
Could be a solid streamer. Could be a solid streamer for us. Who knows?
And guys, make sure to also check us out on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public, and Breaker. Also, make sure to check out our Instagram where we're having a giveaway.
Yes, we are.
We're giving away a George Springer jersey. Go to our Instagram, check out our latest post, and find out the instructions on how to get entered into this contest. I honestly really wanted, we were saying that we really wanted a George Springer jersey because, Mike, come on, like he had just had his press conference today. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out, guys, in the description. And again, Patreon, $3 a month. Boom, you could be on this podcast with us.
Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays go.